Welcome to The Explainer. We're all pretty used to AI that can talk back to us, but today we're going way beyond that. We're diving into the evolution of AI. What happens when it stops just responding and starts doing? And just so you know where we're getting our info, this explainer comes straight from Chapter 7 of the tutorial Introduction to Artificial Intelligence by Virtualization Options LLC. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're diving into AI that doesn't just talk, it acts. To really get our heads around this, let's start with a simple question. Right? You ask a question, you get an answer. That's what we expect. But what if it could actually do stuff on its own? That single idea, that shift from just talking to acting, is what's driving one of the biggest changes in AI right now. And this is where we meet a totally different kind of AI. We're talking about something called an AI agent. Think of it as moving from AI as a reactive tool to AI as a proactive partner. Okay, to make this super clear, think about it like this. You've got a calculator, right? It just sits there, waiting for you to punch in numbers. That's reactive AI. But then you have a robot vacuum. You set a goal, clean the floor, and it figures out the rest. It navigates, it dodges the cat, it even goes back to its charger all by itself. That's a proactive AI agent. So what's the big word here? It's agency. Agentic AI has the ability to act independently. It's not just waiting for your next command. It has a goal, and it works on its own to get there, with, minimal handholding from us. And this is a really important distinction. A language model, like the kind you chat with, is reactive. It waits for you to type something. An AI agent, on the other hand, is proactive. Now, an agent might use a language model to understand things, but its main job isn't to talk, it's to do. Okay, so if these agents are out there doing things, how in the world do they decide what to do? It's not magic. There's actually a pretty cool cycle they go through. It's basically a 4-step loop that just keeps repeating. First, it perceives. It looks around and gathers info about what's going on. Then it thinks. It processes that info and figures out the best move. Next, it acts. It actually does the thing. And finally, and this is the really clever part, it learns. It sees what happened because of its action and uses that to make better decisions next time. Perceive, think, act, learn. Over and over. Now, I know this might sound a bit like science fiction, right? But the truth is these agents are already here. They're all around us, and you've probably used one today without even realizing it. Think about the virtual assistant on your phone or smart speaker. Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. They're getting more and more agentic. When you say, hey, schedule a meeting for 2 p.m. and invite Bob, it's not just answering a question. It's accessing your calendar, creating an event, and maybe even sending an email. That's a multi-step task. It's a simple agent at work. And let's talk about a much more complex example, autonomous vehicles. A self-driving car is a super sophisticated agent. Its goal is to get you from point A to point B safely. To do that, it's constantly perceiving the road with all its sensors, and it's making thousands of split-second decisions about steering, braking, and navigating around obstacles. That's agency on a whole other level. It's not just in our homes and cars either. In huge warehouses, you've got fleets of robots, all individual agents, coordinating with each other to move packages, avoid crashing, and find the fastest routes. Or think about the stock market. Trading bots are agents that monitor market data and execute trades way faster than any human ever could. It's a massive, coordinated dance of AI. So as these agents get smarter and more autonomous, it's pretty amazing. But it also opens up a whole new can of worms. We have to start asking some really tough, really important questions. And here's the big one. As these AI agents gain more and more independence, what happens when something goes wrong? Who's responsible? If a self-driving car has an accident, is it the owner's fault? The manufacturers? The programmers? The AIs? It gets complicated fast. And that leads us to these huge ethical questions that people are trying to figure out right now. First, accountability. Who's on the hook when an agent messes up? Second, safety. How do we build safeguards into these things to stop them from causing harm in the first place? And third, transparency. Should we always know when we're dealing with an AI agent instead of a person? These aren't easy questions, but they're absolutely critical. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that the very nature of AI is changing. We're moving away from AI as just a helpful tool that we control directly and toward AI as a system that can handle tasks all on its own.
And that really leaves us with this final big idea to chew on. We're not just asking AI for answers anymore. The next step is trusting it to take action. So the real question is, are we actually ready for a world where we have autonomous partners? Because that world is coming fast.